Hi, I am Kimberly Carter. I am a Gen Z leadership specialist and I am a confidence coach for women. And so this is part four of a series that I started a couple of weeks ago. And it's the power of coaching for women, where I'm just walking through talking about why coaching is so important for women to get. And I'm sharing my own experiences as well as encouraging you to seek out a coach that, may fit what you need. And so part four is going to be about limiting beliefs and how overcoming those limiting beliefs can just open up a world of possibilities for you. And so we're going to talk about overcoming them, transforming them, and also identifying them. So I'm going to start with explaining what a limited belief is. And you may already know this, but a limited belief is a negative thought or assumption about oneself that restricts potential and it could prevent someone from achieving their full potential. So, for women, this can manifest as beliefs that undermine their confidence, right? And limits opportunities in areas like their career, relationships, personal growth, things that maybe that you don't even think a limited belief may be impacting, right? And it stems a lot of times from societal expectations, stereotypes, and things like that that would lead you to not think you are capable or deserving of success in certain areas, right? So, an example of a limiting belief is I'm not good enough, or I can't lead, or women shouldn't be assertive or speak up. Or something else is I need to be perfect to be valued, or I need to be perfect before I start, whatever that thing is. And so limiting beliefs can lead to self doubt, hesitation to take risks, underestimating one's own abilities, and it could lead to avoiding opportunities for advancement, which could hinder like career progression, and it could hinder your personal fulfillment. So don't think of it just about career. Like you may be someone who wants to take a trip to another country, right? Go on some sort of adventure, but in your mind, a limiting belief may tell you, oh, no one will go with me, or I shouldn't try that. And so overcoming limitations is steeped in recognizing these limiting beliefs, right? Once you recognize that you have them, you have to challenge their validity or challenge inside of yourself if you feel like they're valid or truthful. And you have to replace it with an empowering belief. It can help you overcome the obstacle of having that limited belief, right? Also, reminding yourself of times when you did accomplish something that you set out to accomplish is a tool that I like to use to counter that limiting belief, right? And so I'm not saying that you should just tell yourself something false. I'm telling you, if you sit down and you think about it, you've achieved something. And if you just remind yourself of that achievement when that limiting belief arises, it'll be very beneficial. And so I can personally share that even when I have a limiting belief or self-doubt that'll rise up to tell me, "Oh, you shouldn't be on YouTube," for example. What do you have to offer? I'll counter that with a time when I did speak at an event, and someone after that event came up to me and told me, "Hey, what you shared was powerful," or gave me some positive feedback. That would counter the limiting belief that I shouldn't speak on YouTube, right? I've spoken before, it's been valuable. And so if I decide that, hey, I want to take that value that I've added in that one instance and put it on YouTube for people to repeatedly see, it'll just be there, right? Then I have a truth to stand on that there was a time that I spoke and it was valued and it impacted and changed someone's life. Okay, so you can reframe them, right? And I'm going to share some statistics that talk about how women have overcome limiting beliefs through coaching and just through journaling, things that just remind you of how you've overcome. So the first one is like about breaking through these beliefs. So the International Coach Federation research showed that 80% of women who had a coach reported an increase in self-awareness, and it helped them identify and challenge a limiting belief that they had that was holding them back in their career or in their personal life. According to another study by Better Up, 62% of women who undertook coaching or went through a coach said they became more aware of their negative self talk, which is also limiting belief thoughts and talk. And then they learned techniques to replace it with things that were more empowering, right? More empowering beliefs. The next thing is going to be about increased confidence. So, a PwC global coaching study found that 70% of women who work with a coach experienced a significant increase in their self confidence, right? Which helped them overcome beliefs that they weren't capable or deserving of success. And I just want to stop and say, sometimes the limiting belief isn't about your capabilities. You know doggone well you're capable, right? It's about feeling like you don't deserve it. Feeling like, who am I to go after this next thing? Who am I to achieve this goal, right? Who am I to be on YouTube making videos, right? Who do I think I am? That is also a limiting belief, and a belief that is often leveraged at women. So the next one is about improved goal achievement. So the Harvard Business Review reports that women who worked with a coach were 50% more likely to achieve personal and professional goals after they addressed those mental barriers, those limiting beliefs, and negative self talk that were blocking their progress in the first place. The next statistic is about reframing and rewriting those limited beliefs. So, a study by Coaching Psychology International revealed that 74% of women who participated in coaching learned how to reframe limiting beliefs that were sabotaging their success. And they were learning also to replace them with a more empowering negative narrative, excuse me. 71% of women said that coaching helped them stop comparing themselves to others. This is a big one, which is a common limiting belief that often results in self doubt and imposter syndrome. And so that's according to a Deloitte's Women at Work report. And I just want to camp out right here. Comparison. Comparison is one of the biggest issues that contributes to limiting belief. If you're looking at someone else and what you feel like they've achieved or have not achieved and compare it to yourself, that's going to wipe you out every time, because there is room for everyone's success. There is room for your brand, your version of you in that same area that that other person is in. You're not supposed to compare yourself. You can have a healthy, like, oh, let me look at, for instance, oh, I like that white blouse she has on. I think I'll find me a cute white blouse. You can find you a white blouse. You can see it on someone else and like it, but that doesn't mean you have to imitate it down to the T. You can wear the blouse with different accessories. Your hair is different. You're different. Y'all can have on the exact same white blouse, but being true to you, you're going to show up different in that, right? So that comparison, don't do it, right? The next one is the next statistic I want to talk about is about addressing imposter syndrome through coaching. And so a McKinsey's Women in the Workplace report found that 54% of women felt that having a coach helped them recognize and counteract that imposter syndrome. Which is a limiting belief that causes a lot of women to feel unworthy of their achievements, and that's most after people have already had their achievements. We're feeling unworthy, right? The next statistic is 72% of women who had a coach said they were better able to own their achievements and stop attributing their success to luck or external factors like other people, according to an ICF global coaching study. This is a big deal. You know, I found myself, somebody could say, oh, I like your earring. And I'd be like, oh, I bought it on clearance. They didn't ask me if I bought it on clearance. That's a part of a limiting belief that's showing up, right? And telling me in some form of fashion that I'm unworthy even of a compliment. Stop it. Just say thank you. Then if they say, where did you get it? You can say, I got it from such and such. I found it at a great deal. You don't got to say it was on clearance. This is something I've had to address in myself. The next thing I'm going to share is about shifting from a fixed to a growth mindset through coaching. So, according to a Stanford University research report, women who had a coach were 40% more likely to shift from a fixed mindset. A fixed mindset is simply believing that their abilities were like static or not good, to a growth mindset, which is believing they can improve with effort. So that's just the ability to see that you can grow, right? Having a coach helps with that. So, also coaching and calculated risk taking and better decision making are all tied. So, a Better Up survey found that 68% of women who participated in coaching felt way more comfortable making bold decisions and taking calculated risks. Um, and that all came from replacing limiting beliefs that were leading to their hesitation in the first place. A Harvard Business School research showed that women who received coaching or who had a coach were 45% more likely to take those calculated risks in their career, right? They weren't holding back themselves because of fear of failure, and they were learning how to overcome those limiting beliefs again through having a coach. And the last thing I'll share is the long-term impact. So according to a PwC's Global Leadership in Development study, 58% of women who participated in having a coach reported that the benefits of breaking free from limiting beliefs lasted way beyond the coaching session. They're looking at like down the line years. And another study showed that 63% of women continue to practice the belief shifting techniques that they learned in coaching long after their sessions had ended. And so personally, I've had several coaches over the years, and with each coach, I was addressing a limiting belief about myself. And for a few years, I felt like nothing was happening, right? I was like, man, I've had three coaches and I feel stuck. But when I looked around, I really wasn't stuck. Oftentimes, growth can be beneath the surface, if you will, like a plant whose roots are, reaching and growing on top of the surface. You may not see anything but like a small little bud, but under the surface, there's growth. It's going in the opposite direction and it's rooting the plant. You want to be rooted, right? Because when a storm comes or it gets windy outside, that plant will be able to withstand if it's rooted. And so I had to start realizing that a lot of my growth was happening internally before it ever showed up on the outside. It wasn't that the coaching wasn't working. It was the coaches were adding a different facet to what I needed and helping me overcome a different limiting belief that I didn't even know was buried inside my subconscious or inside my heart, soul, and mind. And so I've grown to just realize that over time. And so I really appreciate you watching this video. Definitely coaching, having a coach. I'm a coach, but it doesn't have to be me. Just finding a coach that fits you is important. Definitely check out the link. I have a journal. Sometimes, this might not be the right time for you to get a coach, but I do have a journal that can walk you through what I like to call coaching yourself, right? It's a 60-day journal. It's like day 20, for example, is like identifying a recent situation where you felt confident, right? What thoughts and actions led to that feeling? So journaling in and of itself can be like coaching yourself in a lot of ways. And so definitely check out the link. Also, take my free quiz. It's about confidence. It's totally free. You'll get the results. And it could also be something that starts you on this journey of overcoming limiting self beliefs. So, thank you again for watching part 4 of my series, and I'll see you next time.